afternoon. Okay, this afternoon we are going to be looking at digital finance. That is our topic for the first section today, and we will be having Dorcas Thorpe take us on digital finance. What is digital finance? 10 years ago, if you needed to make a transfer to somebody, you needed to transfer money, you needed to transfer, make a deposit, you would have to do that before the weekend. Hello, Senami Uncle. Good to have you here. Thank you for being present. You need to do that before Saturday because there were no banking services for people who wanted to deposit or withdraw money on Saturdays. But over time, banking systems evolved, payment platforms, payment system evolved. Digital finance is just about using digital means to deliver traditional financial services. You have online payments now, mobile applications, you have, you have a whole lot of things that come into play, unlike a few years ago. So that is not all there is to digital finance. It's not just about bank transfers and online payments and what have you. We are going to be having an expert, Dr. Stop, take us on digital finance. So let us meet this amazing woman. Dr. Stop holds a bachelor's degree in information technology and networking and a master's in computer networks from the University of Essex, United Kingdom. She is a certified microfinance professional, digital financial service expert, and corporate strategic planner. She leads the Lapo Microfinance. She's currently the corporate planning. She leads the corporate planning department in Lapo Microfinance Bank with over 8 years of solid experience in information technology, product development, and strategic planning. She serves on the board of 5 high-performing institutes spanning across technology, insurance, and the healthcare sectors in Nigeria. So in few minutes, in a moment, we are going to be having her live take us on digital finance, what it means in this day and age, and how we can harness and explore what digital finance has to offer. Okay, while we are waiting for her to join in, please, for those of us who have not yet followed Skill Factory Africa, please go on Instagram and follow Skill Factory Africa at Skill Factory Africa. There is no underscore, there is just Skill Factory Africa. Then also you would want to connect with our convener, Victoria Owana. Please do so. Do so quickly. Do so quickly. Okay. Okay, Victoria and Namani, thank you for joining us. We are sure to have an explosive section right here. Okay. Okay, while we're waiting for our speaker. Hi, Sanami. Uncle, I don't know if good afternoon. Please let me know.
Sorry, let me just continue, everyone.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I'll be speaking to all the participants. Please, to show us that you have really been here from day one, even if you joined day 2, day 3, even if it was just yesterday, just type something that you've learned, maybe a snippet in the comment section. Let's just see. You might not post the speaker or who said what, just type in something to show that you have been learning from day one or whenever you joined the boot camp. Today is the grand finale, and in fact, today is talked with amazing speakers, but we have also had so many seasoned speakers from day one. So let's just see what you have. Let's see what you've learned in the past few days that you will start applying to your life, or tell us what stuck out for you, what you learned that you know you will carry anywhere with you as you go on. So let's just see that in the comment section. Thank you.
Okay, guys, we heard Sanami Uncle rightly. Please let us know how this skill acceleration bootcamp has impacted you. Share the nuggets, share something you learned, something you'll be learned, and something you have unlearned from these sections. It's been 5 days of value. Please let us know how this has impacted you. Okay, we have our guest in now, so we will have to reintroduce her. She wasn't here before when we did the introduction. Good afternoon, ma'am. We are so excited to have you. Thank you for doing this.
Good afternoon. I'm so happy to be here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Oh, all right. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, we can hear you. So I introduced you before you got on. So I'm going to be doing a reintroduction.
Oh, so sorry. I did late. Okay.
We understand. Thank you so much for being here. So, guys, let us meet Dr. Stop again. For those who were not here, Dr. Stop is a certified microfinance professional, a digital financial service expert, and corporate strategic planner. She holds a bachelor's degree in information technology and networking and a master's in computer networks from University of Essex. She works currently as the corporate planning department. She leads the corporate planning department of Lapo Microfinance Bank Limited. She has over 8 years of solid experience in information technology, product development, and strategic planning. She serves on the board of 5 high-performing institutions spanning across tech, insurance, and health sectors in Nigeria. Good afternoon, ma'am. Welcome again. We are so glad to have you. Thank you for doing this with us. Okay, before you join in, our topic is digital finance. I know you're very much aware of that. I was saying 10 years ago, if you needed to transfer money to somebody on a weekend like this, on Saturday, you would make sure you did that transaction on Friday, because by Saturday, nobody's going to attend to you in the banks. I remember then my parents used to make sure they planned their week to ensure that if they needed to be at the bank, make sure to do all the deposits and withdrawals, because by Saturday, nobody will attend to you. But now in 2021, we have online transfer systems, we have mobile applications, we have USSD codes, And we know that there's a whole lot more to digital finance than online payments and bank transfers. So, ma'am, we will be having you for the next 15 minutes. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good afternoon again, everyone. Hope you've had, a fantastic week. So it's been all week, and it's a bit funny because I'm like, what do I do at the end of such an interesting time? But I think that I would just share some nuggets. You mentioned that we don't have so much time, but I would just share a few information on digital finance. So before I go on, just to apologize, I'm using my another account to stream the video because technology can be interesting as well. So I couldn't launch the one on my system. Yeah, that's why I'm using another one. I hope you can see me. Hi, everybody.
We can see you.
Okay. All right. So my name is Dr. Stop. Like to really appreciate the founder of the SFA and also the team who has set this initiative up. I think Victoria Moana and also the Blessing who got me or rather reached out to me to say, do I have something to offer at this session? Thank you so much for the opportunity once again. And I hope that I meet your expectations for today. Okay, so I'll share my screen. Please let me know if you can. You see the screen. Hi, Dr. Gift, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. I can see your screen.
All right, great. Right. So again, my name is Dr. Stop, and we'll be looking at digital finance today. So I've tagged this, leveraging digital financial growth for very, very important reasons. But before we go ahead, I'd just like to say very few things about me. The brief or profile is apt. Thank you for such wonderful introduction. But so just simple truths about me is first, I like money, right? Honestly, I like money, I like creating and then sustaining wealth. It's really important for the kind of future that I desire, right? I know the saying, with the scriptures as to the love of money is the root of all evil, but it's not, that kind of love for money and then going, the extreme, but just the fact that I would, my financial journey or freedom is really when I'm able to do whatever I want. So it can be buy whatever I want, or to gift, or just being able to do whatever I want that I'm looking forward to. So creating and sustaining wealth are very important for me. I'm an introvert, so I like my space, but I'm trying to improve on that. So now I hear it's not just introvert and extrovert, there is the ambivert, right? So almost like in the middle at different situations you switch. So yes, I'm learning to do that.
Okay.
I also don't like stress. I don't like stress. I like to simplify things a lot. Just go straight to the point, avoid stress, I'm trying to do a lot of planning. So you would see my profile, I'm a corporate planner, but I've also been able to execute, those strategies also in my personal life to say, okay, we're planning things to just ensure that I'm not stressed and all of that. So that's me. I'm also a feminist, and yeah, this can be a bit worrisome for some people. But I think that the definition of feminism that we see is not exactly what it is. For me, it's just one who believes in equity for both genders, to be honest. So it's not just about the woman, for both genders. People treated fairly. So that's for me, and so I would still tag myself as a feminist, my definition. And then lastly, I'm big on family values. Sorry, I don't know why it's offline support there, but I'm big on family values. I definitely think that there needs to be balance. I could be tagged as a workaholic, but I'm also, really trying to create that balance between professional life and, family. Yeah, so, for young people or for anybody really building career, it's tedious, but then you have to try to ensure that one doesn't suffer for the other. At the end of all of this race, all of the work, you're going to come back to family, you're going to come back to your loved ones. So it's important that you keep that going, even while you build your wealth or you build career. So these are just a few things about me in addition to what has been said. I work with Lapo Microfinance Bank. I've been with the bank for over 7 years. So that's me. Today we would just be discussing about things. So we'll talk about digital finance, but we'll also look at, what does it mean for me? What does it mean for you? How can it be leveraged on for growth? And then what should we look out for when we, love this technology and, tech and all of that in this space? What should we look out for? What are the risks? What are the opportunities? And then what are the success factors for the industry? And then we just do a summary. Gosh, this one. So that's my agenda for today.
Okay.
All right. So simply put, like I said, I love simplicity. I have just said that digital finance is a term used to describe the impact of new technologies on the financial service industry, right? So it's providing financial services through digital means. It's a tool to enhance financial inclusion. So like Dr. Blessing, Dr. Gift was saying here, sorry, that before now, if you needed cash, you would have to plan to be at the bank, before the weekend. You probably would have to leave your comfort zone, either your business or your home, to travel the way to where the branch was. And you can imagine then, unlike now, you have a lot of branches and options of banks to use, probably ATMs and the rest. But then you would have to travel, to the bank. But I guess that with new technologies, we're now having those products and services very available, very affordable, well, a bit affordable, but very available and accessible now. That's what digital finance is. We've just been able to use technology to enhance our financial industry, to enhance, the provision of products and services for the consumer. And all of this really enhance financial inclusion. So financial inclusion is a big topic, whether it's in Nigeria or globally, and it's trying to ensure that, more people get, more of the excluded people get, on board, get into the financial system, and they begin to benefit from all of the goodies that we bring to the market. So and that's also supposed to help with poverty reduction. So it's linked together. We're just now using technology to do a lot more in the financial space. And with the new technologies, they can be applied in these 4 areas. So it could either be in your products, enhancing the products. It could be in the applications or the channels that we're using. It could be in the processes. You could use tech to enhance the process to access the product. You could also use, tech to look at the business model. So even just a few years back, if MFBs or even banks, set up, you're coming in with the model to have branch networks, to have branches all over, and all of that. But recently, the digital banks are coming on board, and they just have one, just probably an administrative office, and then all their transactions are done digitally, right? So the business model is changing, and that's for even financial sector. But with other businesses, we have a lot of businesses online, social media businesses. They're working from their home, but then they're global in terms of their sales. So the business model is changing, and tech is also helping to do that a lot. With the products, you're looking at some savings, loans, insurance, payments, and all of that, products and services, applications, or channels. Looking at the mobile, web, cards, POS. All of those, are channels now that are being used, and then some processes. We're looking at, the appraisal. For example, the loan appraisal. There's the digital credit scoring that helps that. So that's also an implementation of these new technologies to enhance, business processes. Like I mentioned earlier, digital finance, it really is to promote the provision of financial products and services. And so I'll just maybe talk a bit more on this kind of products and services, and how we can take advantage of them right now. So loans and savings. I work with a microfinance bank, and this is a group of our operations, and we give loans, and then we have savings products for customers, loans for business purposes, loans for personal use, loans for the public sector, markets. So there's a lot of financial support when it comes to loans, and then you unlike before, where you'd have a long process to access them. Now you can just access them via your mobile app, or USD, or through even an agent that is in in your vicinity. So those are some of the products. And then payments right now is a big deal. Everybody, you're paying utility bills, or you're buying airtime, or you're shopping online. You're making payments now easily than before. So tech is also driving that. Is driving that market, is helping us to do things even faster and better. And then you see that sales is improving through these channels. There are also investment opportunities these are products, some investment products that some financial institutions render, and they're available to to everybody. And this for me, these products here are actually tools for financial. I would call it a journey to financial freedom. But these are very good tools to start with. So you would usually hear say, okay, start saving. Get an income stream, start saving, get loans to help you boost business, and all of that. Do some investments. Be conscious about generating assets, getting assets, and all of that. While it's not simple for everybody, it's not easy for everybody to do, especially those in the bottom of the pyramid. These financial institutions are providing the services cheaper, so that everybody can get on board, and that's the whole essence of financial inclusion. And then we're talking about insurance. So we all know that in Nigeria it hasn't really picked up very well, but it's such a tool to build resilience, especially for those who do not have enough. So the financial industry, we're trying to push this through very responsive products on our various applications. Okay, how do we sell insurance to the last mile? Get as cheap as say 1,000 naira per month, per annum. Just to cover for certain risks that are more that the low income earners are more susceptible to. So these are some of the products, and I think that digital finance actually promoting them very well. Now, all of these, why we would call them digital, we'll say they are digital or products, is that they're being sold or offered through digital channels. such as mobile phones. Now, right now, it's not just having a smartphone, even with a feature phone, you can access some of these products from financial service providers. So, the POS, web, agents, like I mentioned, are all digital channels to offer these products that are available in the market. Okay, so the digital finance is developing rapidly, and constant changes will challenge our players to catch up. So this was just to show how technology is transforming the way people transact. We talked about that earlier on. So it's transformed the way we're transacting, as to receiving payments and also making payments. So salaries are being received, digitally now. Just pay to your account source. Your remittance is easy now. Government subsidy, that is done digitally now. And then making payments, like I mentioned, utility bills, school fees, convenience, shopping and all of that. You're paying for your groceries, and you're paying with your card. It's just a lot easier than having to carry the cash. And we also know the risk in handling cash as well. So digital is really to help reduce some of those cash handling risks, and then improve access to your funds, whenever you need them. So it's really transforming the way we all, transact today, the way we also interact, and that's a good thing for the economy.
Okay.
All right. So a few benefits of digital finance. I mentioned that the goal is really to contribute to financial inclusion. But there are benefits to the customer, there are benefits to the business, there are benefits to the government, there are also benefits to the economy at large, right? So for the consumers or the customers, we're seeing that it's providing better control of your personal finances. So now you don't have tools that allow you to from the financial institutions, they are able to tell you how much you spent, what you spent on. Is it, what's the percentage of your expense on food, on clothes, on, social media, fun activities and all of that. So those tools help, just gives you better control of your finance. Would usually say this when you have cash hand, you don't know how you spend it. Yeah, you can have 10,000 and you move out and it's gone. But when it's digital, you're more conscious of what you do. You're in more control of how you spend.
You know that joke. Sorry to cut you short.
Yes.
You know that joke that people make, that you step out with 1,000 naira before you just crossed the road. You went across the road and you came back and the money
it's gone. It is so true. It's so true. And you don't even know what happened. You have to, okay, this, that, and before you put it together, everything is gone. So, this helps when you have digital value. Yeah, it helps to have control over your finance. It also helps you make very quick financial decisions. So if before now you're probably in need of a loan for your business, however so big it is, you would be considering where would you probably get collateral, okay, which branch would you visit, what are the documentations to bring, and all of those. But now, knowing that there are financial service providers who offer, quick loans and with less documentations, and the process is not as serious as before, you're able to make some quick decisions as to, okay, I need this loan and this one, to get it from. You're also able to make decisions on your spending, and even where your revenue, the sources of revenue. It also helps you to do business quicker. So for those who have their businesses online, right now, I personally like to shop online. I really don't like going to the shop, start trying clothes and all of that. So I shop, I would say 90% online, and mostly Instagram. And so it's so quick to just do business. You pick what you want, and then you're just paying, do the transfer with your app or your USSD code. You have done your business. So you're receiving money, you're making payments. However, it's quicker now with technology. It also gives you access to business loans and easy repayment processes, like I mentioned earlier. For the business, then, what technology does is it increases efficiency for the business. So if you have a small business today, if you have, you've connected to the payment gateways, it's easy for people to pay or even just to transfer funds to you. You find out that you're not needing to maybe print some documentation, so you're not needing to maybe have to go and say the cash on delivery or things like that. It helps you reduce cost of operations, and then that also increases your profitability in the long run. So it also spurs innovation, thereby creating more business and product opportunities, right? So technology just helps people to really think that there are better ways to do this. If I were, or if customers had to come to my location to make an order, technology, gives you the opportunity to say no. They can, make the order from their homes, and then you've seen different products coming on board, just solving problems, solving business problems, business process problems using technology. So that's also an advantage for the business. It creates that additional revenue stream for you. It creates new product bouquets for you, and even new markets to enter. It also helps build strong institutions. So for your small business, if you're able to use technology well, you get in touch with your financial service provider. They're able to give you some tools. You're able to structure your finances. You're able to structure, inflow and outflow of cash. You're able to go that. It helps you build a stronger business, so that you can last even longer. So there's sustainability. I think that also fintech, the digital finance drives sustainability of business. And to the government, they're also beneficiaries of this, where higher tax revenue from increased volume of transactions, and also builds stronger and resilient government when the policies, so over time with tech, even the government regulators have also they've also taking the challenge of how do we respond to cyber threats, cyber security. So they are also developing policies to ensure that the customer is safe and the economy continues to thrive. So for that, I think that's also building their resilience and their response to growth and development within the country. For the economy at large, it reduces poverty by empowering people to be economically active. And then there's the opportunity to increase the GDP by 10% or even more. Some of the surveys that have been done shows that digital finance will improve the GDP of a lot of developing countries, so like Nigeria. So we're seeing that already happen in the space with all of the transactions that are happening today. So these are just a few, predictions. But if you look at current data, you see that we're actually, getting there. You're talking about 1.6 billion newly included individuals. We're talking about 7.2 trillion in new deposits. So this is, and you're having even 100 billion annual reduction in government linkages. Credits is increasing. So there's impact in the economy. Whether it's specific to Nigeria, any other country, or even globally, digital finance has brought a lot of impact to us. So what are the risks with digital finance? With technology, there are obviously the risk, because now you have easy access and all of that. There's collaboration, there's integrations between multiple parties. What are the risks? I just brought this back to three. So there's increased fraud happening in the digital space, digital finance space. It's a risk, but there are also measures that we put in place by different players, by the financial institutions, by the regulators, by software developers and all of that, just to ensure that this is curbed to the minimum. There's also the risk of money laundering. Of course, so it's easy to move money now. Ideally just imagine that moving money for illegitimate transactions would be easier now. However, there are also, policies being put in place, and technology also helps you to monitor that as well. So it's a risk, but there's also an opportunity to use digital, to use technology to help monitor that and then curb it. There's data theft, right? So all of the integrations going on, the applications where you'd ask you for BDN and other information. Right now, we're focusing now on a lot on data security, customer protection, all of that, because there's a lot of data theft that are going on and that may be used indiscriminately in the financial space. But there are risks. Now, does that stop us from moving ahead? I would say no. So all we just need to do is to look at what are the mitigants to these risks. How do we minimize the impact on business, on the individual, and on the economy? But there are more opportunities. So the benefits of digital finance outweighs its threats. So there are opportunities where digital finance is going to help with creation. So you're having more access to, like I said, investment opportunities. Before now, for investment, you may have to go to a bank and buy some shares for maybe a GT bank or any bank, buy shares, But now there are apps that are available, and you have control of the kind of shares and stock you're buying, you're investing. You have control of your investment. You're able to get funds to buy assets. You have control of the assets you're acquiring. So there's a lot of opportunities for wealth creation using digital finance today. For young people especially, you have access to doing this. You're able to use some platforms to save. So whatever you're getting, you're saying, okay, I'm going to keep 5% or 10% per month. And that's automated. So you don't need to come back and say, oh, I forgot this month, I didn't last month. You could just automate it and it's just saving for you. And these are steps towards wealth creation. So these are opportunities with digital finance. Birthing business ideas from solving problems. So there are problems within the financial space today. There are problems in any sector, really. But digital helps you to say, okay, to think more about problems and say, I can do this better with technology. And businesses have been birthed from such thought about what the challenges are in the financial industry. And then it also helps you to accelerate inclusive growth, like we talked about financial inclusion, right? Digital finance helps us to reach out to more people, those who before now would probably only save in their homes, under the mattress, and all of that. Now, digital brings account opening easy to them. Get them to be more inclusive. They're able to also do transactions, able to transact, to make more revenue. So it accelerates inclusive growth for consumers in the economy. So I've also said, key success factors for digital finance to really achieve its goal is first that every player, whether it's the government, it's the leaders, it's businesses, it's the consumer, we all have a role to play, and then we need to put in some efforts. One of the things that needs to be addressed is also mobile infrastructure, widespread of this, right? To ensure that the very rural of the rural have access to internet, have access to also to be in this digital space, apart from just having mobile phones. Per se, but what's the connectivity strength in those areas? So needs to be some investment in that, and for us to really go deeper with the impact of digital finance, which is also digital financial inclusion. Also develop digital products that meet customers' needs. So beyond just rolling out products, what are the needs of people? Who are your target markets? Needs of people. We need to be able to all together and say, let's provide product that meets the needs of people. And then dynamic business environment for financial services is very important. It needs to be dynamic. It doesn't have to be static. We need to have a lot of options out there for people. And then let's invest in awareness and sensitization programs. A lot of awareness needs to be done. People need to know more about this. just like we're having, this conversation sessions, to get people more aware of digital products and services, and ways that they can be used to benefit ourselves, to improve our financial portfolios, to improve our lifestyle, to improve anything that you really hope to do in life. So it's more of the awareness, sensitization programs happening in rural, in the urban, getting people to know more about financial inclusion, bring them on board, getting them to use these products and services, give feedback. We'll always keep changing, improving on what is existing. So you can imagine, 10 years ago, and just even 10 years from now, how, this would be like. There will be a lot of changes, but, advancement, really. There will be a lot of that, and tech is driving that today. Tech will always continue to drive that. The future is bright. It's big, it's inclusive. But with finance, I think that using tech to drive that has given us very good momentum in the last couple of years, and we also hope that there'll be a lot more to do in the near future. So for everyone, it's really to say to bring that awareness that beyond traditional means of backing, you can begin to leverage on digital finance for your personal growth, for the growth of your business, for the growth of the economy. There are different products out there now, talking about loans, savings, insurance, investments. Get on board, know what they are, go get more information. How do I save? How do I invest? How do I buy shares? People who bought think Amazon or even Tesla, shares years ago, today they're seeing a lot. They're having, a lot of returns from that. But when they bought it, it probably didn't make sense, right? But over time, it does. So we need to be conscious about investing if we really want to build wealth. Be conscious about creating and all of that. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I thought someone said it was breaking. Okay. I hope it's not been breaking since. Right, so for me, that's just what I wanted to share with everyone here. There are a lot of opportunities with digital finance. Please take advantage of them. Go study about them. Get the tools. Most people would have phones that can, smartphones. But even if you don't, with the feature phones, you can also begin to save. You can open an account, start saving today, right? Financial independence is a journey, but keep moving, don't stop, keep investing, keep saving, keep getting assets, less of liabilities, right? So be smart in the decisions that you are making, and then technology. Take advantage of technology for your business, for your own personal endeavors, for anything really you're doing. Just get on board with technology. It's the future. It's really the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was such an impactful section. Thank you very much. Talking about the opportunities. Yes, I remember 2018 when I launched the digital products. I'm just going through the points you mentioned about opportunities, betting business ideas. A lot of things would not have been possible if I had to physically meet with people to get them to buy from me and all of those. So if you're here and you have a business and you're not leveraging on this, please do so. I mean, there are a lot of payment gateways that you don't really need to confirm transfers for every payment made. The recipient can even get their products without you being involved with the process. It's so seamless. Please take advantage of everything that digital finance has to offer. If you're a small business owner, please leverage on tech to help your business, leverage on tech that tech-enabled systems from financial institutions, from banks, from loans, from savings and all of those. So grow your business. Like when you tech age, you can't just ignore these things. While there are risks, like she mentioned, the benefit outweighs the risks. So if you have a business and you say, oh, because there's fraud, because there's money laundering, because there is theft of data, I'm not going to use digital media, it will not be for your growth. And what Skill Acceleration Bootcamp is all about is about pushing you and helping you accelerate your growth so that you can become a better person, become a better business owner, better personal brand. And okay, I'm going to get your question, Kosi Sochuku. Just give us a moment. We are going to get your questions. Okay. So we have a question here. How do we leverage digital finance to attract funds from the global market? Okay. Okay, I don't know if I'm back. I don't know if I'll guess this back. We have a few questions. Okay, we have a bit of a challenge. Just hold on. We'll answer your questions. Please hold on. Okay. So just give us a moment. We're trying to fix this.
Hello.
Okay. I think we lost you at some point.
Yes, sorry about that. My connection just went out.
Oh, okay, okay, that's understandable. So we have a question. It says, how do we leverage digital finance to attract funds from the global markets?
Okay, how do we
leverage digital finance to attract funds from the global markets?
All right, so from the global markets, right? It's investment opportunities, right, from various investors and all of that in terms of funding. With, I would say, more with technology and not digital finance. More with technology in terms of what you're offering as to your products and your services, right? So you're pitching based on a product or a service that you have. It could be for anything but using technology. So it doesn't have to be in the financial space per se, but it could be for a service, and then you are implementing that digitally, and so you could use that to apply for some of the funding opportunities that are out there. That's for funding the business, right? So that would just be my response to that question. I don't know if that helped.
Yes, it did. So it's from what you said. What I get is that you're based on the value that this person is giving out or the organization is giving out. That is how they can plug into the global markets to attract.
Yes, because you're talking about attracting funding, right? It's not using the products like for investing in stock or shares. That's you investing. But if you want people to invest in you, then what are you offering? Usually, if you see in the last couple of months or maybe a year, most of the businesses that have attracted very huge funds are tech driven, right? Maybe not necessarily in the digital finance space, but tech driven. Businesses are getting a lot more funding because people are becoming very aware that driving businesses with tech, you have more reach. There's a lot of more opportunities and prospects for the business to thrive. So investors are beginning to look in that direction a lot.
Thank you very much for that answer. We have another question from Kosi Sochuku. It says, where can someone find a secured place to invest to avoid fraud and the likes?
So there's a bit of noise. Where can someone find a what place to invest?
A secured place to invest.
Secured place to invest.
To avoid fraud and the likes.
Okay, so with investment, you, like I said, you have to get a lot of information, and there is out there, to be honest. So there are financial institutions that would offer some investment opportunities. There are some fintechs as well who are doing that, some investment opportunities. And for example, even just fixed deposits is some form of investment. Fixed deposits, right? Just you invest your money, you keep it in fixed deposits, and then you get your returns back. You could also invest in real estate, you could invest in agriculture, and there are platforms. There are companies who are like a bridge, a middleman between, the consumer and, say, the real estate agencies, or even agri firms and all of that. So you could get get information on those firms that do that. Not to advertise anyone, but I think a support would also be mentioning a few that you could try to look at. So there's Wealth NG, there is the TGI app. I think they're an investment platform as well. They also help investors to invest their funds in viable businesses and ventures. But you have to do your own research. So don't usually just rely on okay, this is a broker or this is an expert. Do your research on the type of the vehicle, the type of the investment that you want to go into. How are they also utilizing their funds? So if someone is telling you, bring 10 million or 1 million, you would get, will invest in agriculture, or, and then you get 15%. What are they doing to get 15, more than 15%? Because for them to give you 15%, they should be getting more than that, right? So what are they doing? So you need to check that. And that's also the difference between some Ponzi schemes you see around. So I agree with you that you have to be cautious about it. So just get more information. Try to join some seminars as well, online seminars, conversations that happen around investing. You would get more information.
Thank you so much for that answer. Kosisochukwu, hope you got that. Hope you got something from that. So to our last question, it says, how do we deal with regulatory bottlenecks as we offer financial services?
Yes, it's a challenge for us as well. But like I said, tech is also getting the regulators to be more responsive and active. And over the last couple of years, they've been trying to catch up, and they will continue to try to catch up with what's happening with the trends, with risk management processes and practices and all of that. For now, you would have to be innovative as well. You would have to be innovative as well when you do have those kind of bottlenecks. You would have to have some form of stakeholder management strategy, right? Because these are your key stakeholders. How do you engage them? How do you also advocate for the change that you are desiring, right? So whatever the bottleneck is, there are platforms and associations and groups that can come together to advocate for solutions on those things. But you would have to just play within the confine of what the regulation is right now, and then advocate and hope that they're able to catch up as quickly as possible.
Thank you so much for that answer. Thank you so much. We had such a impactful section. Thank you for your time. We deeply appreciate. Okay,
Thank you for having me.
How do we, is it on Facebook, on Instagram? Please, what are your social media handles so people could connect with you?
Okay, on Instagram, dockers.top. So first name dot last name, that's at dockers.top. You would be able to connect on Instagram. Yes.
Thank you so much. We got value from your section.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for the questions. So you can also reach out to me on Instagram if you have more questions, or if you actually want direct link to some of like I mentioned a few here, but there are others I could also link you up when it comes to investments, or even with accessing loans. So I work with Lapo Microfinance Bank. We would also offer some support on that. So the Instagram handle is at dockers.top. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Right.
So that will be it for this section.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Have a great evening. Okay, guys, we are jumping into the next section in a few minutes. I hope you got something from this section. Please let us have your feedback. Please go to Skill Factory Africa on Instagram and leave your comments. Let us know how these sections have impacted you. Let us know how much value, let the world know how much value you're getting. And please do say thank you to our guests. You can send her a message, say thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. So I'll be handing over to Sam now, the coordinator for this section. Sam Babarinde will be taking over from here before we reconvene for the next section. So Sam, is Sam here with us? Okay. While we wait on Sam, for those of us who have not connected with Convener, please do same. On Instagram, you can reach her, Victoria Unwana. Please comment, please follow and let her know how much this has been for you, how much impact you have received for the last few days. Is Sam here with us? Can we have Sam on now? Meanwhile, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Skill Factory Africa. Skill Factory Africa, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay. So while we are yet to get on with the next section, please invite someone with the link. I'm sure we're using the same link. Please invite someone with the same link to join the next section. We will be looking at amplifying the work you do, and we have Temilade Salami. Temilade Salami will be taking us on amplifying the work you do. So if you are yet to share, please share the link and invite more people. Okay, ma'am, I'm going to paste the link here. Let me copy the link now and paste. Okay. Okay, we have the link. Yeah, ready. For those who want to join through YouTube, that's the link. This is also okay. Okay, we will be looking at amplifying the work you do. You know, everybody's working. Okay, maybe not everybody, but a lot of young people are putting so much effort into their work and what they're doing. But you know, good work needs to be amplified. Good work will not just fly on its own, whether you're using social media, you're using traditional media, there's all room for amplification. Like there's always room to amplify whatever you're doing. So we will be having Temilade Salami. I don't know if Temi is here. Temilade is here. Okay, Temilade Salami is here. So, hi Temilade Salami, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
So good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, I'll just jump in right now and introduce you to do the introduction so that the people who are participating in this section will know who the speaker is. So Temilade Salami is a Nigerian environmentalist, circular economy enthusiast, and marine biologist with over 4 years experience leading on various youth-led environmental sustainability initiatives across Nigeria. She's the executive director of Eco Warriors, one of Nigeria's largest networks of professional environmentalists, leading environmental change through tree planting, ocean conservation, advocacy, plastic waste management, and environmental education. In 2020, she was named as the Nigerian 25 under 25 leader on energy and sustainability. She is also a 2018 La SEPA ambassador against noise pollution. I mean, you do such an amazing work across the sector. How do you put all this together? Like, I know this is no mean feat. Thank you so much for being here with us. We are so glad to have you, Temilade Salami.
I'm so happy to be here too. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. And I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much for the invite. So should I just go forward to just speak, or you have like questions that would guide me through?
I have questions at the end of the section.
Okay. So for my session, I'll be speaking on how to amplify the work that you do. And I have 7 pointers that are going to guide us all through this discussion. And there are basically ways on how you can amplify the work that you do. But first of all, I think I can still hear a background sound.
Okay, please. Okay, we have everyone's mic muted.
Okay, except yours, right? But it feels like a beat. All right, I will just go ahead. The first thing on my list is identifying the work that you do specifically. So we have like a number of people that do a number of things. Everybody on this call, regardless of who you are or what you're doing, you have something different that you're up to, right? It's either you're in the social development space, or you're in the business space, or you're into banking and finance. Regardless of wherever you are, there has to be something specific that you're doing. What do people know you for, right? You can only amplify what you are already doing, right? So you can't really be all over the place and then you're trying to amplify a million things at the same time. So you have to be very, very clear on what you're doing, and you have to be very specific. Am I in the banking and finance space? Even the banking and finance space has many other parts to it, right? So is this what I do? Is this where I'm niching down into? So it is very, very important to always be specific about your work. And I know that for people like me who are, multi-talented, you can do this one. I write poetry, I present, I do spoken words, I write, I'm an author, I work in the environmental space. So it's a lot of things, but let people be able to say, this is what you do without having to explain a lot of things, right? So the major thing that many people know me for is my, environmental sustainability aspect and what I do with my organization. While I wear many hats, right, it is very important to be very specific about what you're doing. So that's on my first point. Then the second one is know your audience. I know that this sounds cliche, but like I always say, cliches are cliches because they work, right? So know your audience. Who are you trying to amplify the work? Right? Why are you trying to say that, okay, this is what I do, and this is how I want to show you that this is what I do? So, for example, if let me say you're an HR person, which is the best platform for you to amplify your work? Is it on LinkedIn? Is it on Instagram? Is it on Twitter? We all know that Twitter is like the semi informal space, right? I don't want to say informal altogether because people still get jobs on Twitter. People still do a lot of things on Twitter, right? So you have to know your audience, know the people that you want to tell your stories to, and make sure that you're telling the stories on the right platform. So you can't be doing HR, or you say you are HR professional without using LinkedIn. It just doesn't work. We can still permit some people like content creators. Even now, content creators, people are on LinkedIn right now trying to sell themselves, sell what they do, and tell their stories in a different and more formal way, right? So you have to identify your audience and know. Sorry about that. You have to identify your audience and know where they reside, right? So you can't be selling what's it called? Lamborghini, and then I don't want to say this, but I hope nobody finds it offensive, and then take it to a rural community where you know that obviously these are people who cannot even afford your product. So you need to know this is what you want to say, this is the story you want to tell, and then use the right platform for it. Okay. Can that mute? Is really, really distracting. I don't know. Can everybody be put on mute, at least for now, please?
Can we just mute our mics? Can we do that for now? Okay, I think we're good now.
Okay, so like I said, know your audience, know where to tell your stories, know who you are talking to. Am I talking to teenagers? Am I talking to young people? Am I talking to adults? Am I talking to CEOs? Am I talking to business owners? The tone I'm going to use for people of my age is not the same tone I'm going to use for a teenager. It's not the same tone I'm going to use for CEOs. And it's not the same platform I'm going to use to access them. So you have to know your audience and know where your audience reside. Then the third one I'm going to talk about is be authentic and be human, right? One of the things I see online, right? Because you amplify your work now, like really, really now, you amplify your work digitally on Instagram, on WhatsApp, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and so many other platforms that I might not be able to mention on this call. But be authentic and be human. You're speaking to a human being. Now, one of the things that I see recently is that people are trying to, brand themselves in a way that, they want to be respected. They want people to just have this, I don't want to call it fake feeling, but they want people to have this superficial feeling about them that, oh, they are bad, they're doing great, they're doing amazing things. So it is very, very important to be authentic. Don't make noise on Instagram. And then when people meet you in real life, when you attend events and then you are being asked to speak, they cannot even bring to par who you are online and who you are in real life. And now this is not talking about, you are faking it till you make it. This is not what I'm talking about. But if you are doing the work online, when people meet you physically, when they invite you for events, let the expectation, let it match what they've seen online, right? So people don't think that you are just one person trying to amplify your work. And then on the other side, you as a person, you are doing something entirely different, right? So you have to be very authentic and you have to be human. Remember that the platforms are different, but we are speaking to human beings. You're not speaking to robots. So try to, sell emotions, try to tell stories that people understand. I'm going to give you a very good example. So I work in the environmental sustainability space. I can just go on and say, oh, climate change is this, climate change is that, is the warming of the planet, is the change of weather in a place over a period of time. Yeah, that's climate change, and I'm right. But when you want to tell your story and you want to amplify your work, you connect to the realities of the people. So you can go like, have you ever tried to, step out of your house and then it's cold at one moment, and then, you are all jacked up wearing sweater, and then you step out and it is extremely hot. Do you guys feel that way? People will say, yes, I feel that way. That means you've connected to something that, you guys both share, you guys both experience, and then you can now introduce your topic, introduce your story. Don't ever forget that you're speaking to human beings, and be authentic. Don't lie. Don't say one thing about your work. And this is very, don't say one thing about your work, and then, on the other side, you are entirely different from what you have portrayed. And this is very, how will I put it? This is very obvious in some.
So it's more like the perception you've letting the reality match the perception you've created online.
Exactly. So don't say you've reached 1 million beneficiaries, but really, where are they? And what has happened after you've reached them? What is the result, right? So don't just, jack up the numbers. Don't just inflate the numbers, inflate the work that you do, and then you cannot meet up to that perception. So you have to create a balance and amplify your work. I must say it, amplifying your work is not lying. So if you have not done A, please don't go online or go to any platform to say you've done A raised to power Z, right? Because people will discover in the end. By the time they start inviting you for events, they start giving you tasks to do in the office, giving you projects, your weaknesses, they are going to be in the open like this. So you have to be very, very intentional about bringing the balance between the perception you've created and the originality that you are experiencing back in the background where nobody is seeing you. And the next one I'm going to talk about is tell a story, show and tell, right? The world is going visual. The world is, people now want to see. They don't just want to hear. They want to see what you're doing. So if you say you've done this, can you, show us images of some of the things you've done? And this might not apply to many field or many career, right? But try as much as possible to always tell a story. Now, I'm not saying that you should do all these nice stories under the tree. Adam met Aki and Aki married Adam. No, but like let people connect to what you're saying. Let people be able to, relate to what you're saying. If you say you're a professional in this field, but you speak all your jargon and nobody understands, you've not communicated, right? So you have to know where to bring in the balance. And like I said, this also applies to the platform you're using and the people you're talking to. If these are CEOs or even colleagues in your space who are working in your field, it's okay to use, your jargons, your registers, and everybody is okay. But don't be in a space where you're talking to teenagers and then you're trying to tell them about the work that you do, or you're trying to pitch to somebody who basically does not even understand the whole idea of your work. But through storytelling, you'll be able to explain and everybody will be on the same page. So in the light to try to show off, amplify your work, make sure that you are communicating, because you can speak the whole English to the world, or you can try to pitch yourself in a particular way, but people will find out who you truly are in the right? So the next thing I'm going to talk about is be consistent, right? So don't come January 2022 and then say, oh, this is what I'm doing. Then come in February, say, this is now what I'm doing. In March, tell us, this is now what I'm doing. I'm now selling this one. In April, you come to say, I now work as HR professional. People are not going to take you serious, right? So you have to be consistent. Let your story be consistent. Also, you cannot say you reached 1,000 beneficiaries in January, and then in, let me say, March or May, you say you reached 500 beneficiaries. That means you've lied in the beginning. So you are trying to, try to cover up, and people are going to know, right? You are dealing with human beings who have emotions, who are thinking. So you have to be authentic and you have to be consistent. Let your results be consistent. Let people see that is a growth, right? I know sometimes growth can be explosive. Like you can literally go from A to Z at any moment in time. because of different factors, right? Maybe because somebody mentioned your name in one particular room, maybe because, you know, you did a job and you did it excellently and they want to recommend you for a bigger job that you probably never expected, right? I know there's explosive growth, but explosive growth is not every time thing, right? So let's be very, very realistic with that. It's not an every time thing. And if you watch people that are growing exponentially, check it. They have track record of consistency. And I always say consistency is the spice of life. If you are consistent at something, people know that, okay, this is what you stand for. People know that this is what you stand for. And they know that, oh, if I need to reach this person, anything that has to do with skill, upskilling, I'm going to go to Victoria Wana, I'm going to go to Skills Factory. You know, let people know that this is what you do so that the audience you don't need will not come to you, right? And then the second to the last one I'm going to talk about is avoid confusion, right? Try as much as possible not to confuse the people you are speaking to. And I'm going to use an example. We have different sustainable development goals. You know, we have SDG 1 to 17 and all those things like that. And people always go like, oh, I work with all the SDGs. Why there are organizations that work with all the SDGs, right? Don't come tomorrow and say, I'm not working in education. And then on Monday, you will say, I'm working in environment because this is where the buzz is. This is where people are moving into. And I'm going to talk about this very quickly. You have to know what you are doing, right? Because if you don't know what you're doing, people are not going to take you serious. And don't just go with the flow and the buzz, right? There have been so many buzz, even before we got to this age. You know, when you were small, they would tell you, be a doctor, be a lawyer. If you don't do these things, you can't make it in life. You know, different stories and different perspectives and different experiences that have shaped our realities over time. And now it's now all about tech. You know, everybody move to tech, move to tech, move to tech, move to tech. And then you've been doing amazing in your field, right? You are even almost at that point where people have started knowing who you are and what you do. And then because people are saying move to tech, you also, move all your work and everything that you're doing, you move it to tech. There's a difference between, upskilling, and infusing tech into whatever you are doing right now. We are talking now because of technology, which is very good. There's also the thin line between moving fully into tech, like being a front-end developer, being, a UX, is it UX designer? Yeah, like they call it, right? And, you just infusing tech into whatever you're doing. So you have to be very careful of, just confusing people and doing different things at different times. Let your story be, on focus, let it be on point. Then you can spread your wings, you can branch out. I do a lot of things. I'm not even trying to brag. I do a lot of things. I can design, I can write, I can edit videos, at least basic videos. I can do a lot of things, but if I go out there, I am an environmentalist. This is what I do. This is what I like to do. Maybe where you now spend some time with me, you are going to discover the other parts, or maybe when you go to my Instagram. But the story is clear from the beginning. This is what I want to do. This is what I am doing. This might change over any period of time. And I'm saying this because some people right now, you're in a place in your career where you are not really sure what you want to do. And for the people that are sure, like me, it's okay also. But for the people who are not sure, it's okay to move, right? You're still finding your ground. But make sure that you are consistent. Then the last thing I'm going to talk about is remember that it's not a competition. Nobody is fighting you. Nobody is trying to take your place, right? You don't win a race by running on another person's track. It's not done. So stay on your lane. Do what you're supposed to do. I always tell somebody that the healthiest competition I've ever seen is me trying to be better than who I was yesterday. And that is very important because right now in my generation, you see somebody who is doing something, maybe even just follow them on Instagram. And then because you're seeing that they are doing well, you've not even thought about all the work they've put in, and if you can put in that kind of work, or if that is where God wants you to be, right? So you just, go online and see people doing amazing stuff, maybe even traveling, and you start to feel like, oh, this is where the thing is. Let me just move here, right? And we can even see that with the different buzz of tech that is currently going on. So make sure that you come to terms with yourself that this is not a competition. And if it is a competition, it's a competition of being better than who you were yesterday, right? So it is very, very important that you stay on track, and your weaknesses are going to be exposed if you don't train yourself in the background. So as you're trying to amplify your work, tell the world that this is what you do. When people come to you, let them meet substance, right? Don't just be vague, don't just be the surface level person. It's okay to start at 0. It's okay to start at 1, but never remain at 1, never remain at 0. Keep moving. Growth is constant. Keep moving. So it is very, very important that in the process of trying to say, this is what I do, we've reached 1 million people in 1 year. Okay, we know that you've reached 1 million people. So when we meet you, does your capacity comes to par with the perception you're showing us online? So it is very, very important that you tell your story, and while you're telling your story, remember that you are not in a competition with anybody, right? So even if you have somebody in your field that is doing so well, always put it at the back of your mind that you are the only competition you're trying to beat is who you were yesterday. And this is going to make you just, do the work that you do better. And please don't be shy to post about your growth. Don't be shy to document your life. I always say this. Sometimes you don't know how far you've come because you did not put into documentation how far you've been coming, right? So it is very important that every process of your journey, you document it. And I don't mean that you have to post everything online. You can just keep them pictures, the documents, your certificates, so that the days that you think that you're not doing well, you go back to them and say that, oh, okay, I've done this, I've done that. And then we move again. So it's very, very important that you document the work that you do. And every stage in your life that you are, there is somebody always behind you, and there's always somebody ahead of you. Never forget that. So the people behind you need what you've acquired, what you've gained, the knowledge, experiences. So don't ever see your story as basic. You've made 20 sales today. There's somebody who has not even made 10 sales. Now you are a bit above the person. Now I'm not saying like money-wise or anything, but I'm just saying, in that particular context, you are above the person. So that person needs your experience, needs your advice, and then you also need the advice of somebody who has made 100 sales. So that's life. So don't ever think that your story is not important. You are grown now. There are teenagers who need your experience, who need your advice. So don't ever see yourself as, oh, I'm just doing this thing. Nobody's paying attention to me. Document your stories. And the only way to even amplify what you're doing is to document. Because when people go through your page, when people go through your, profile, they can see that it's not just that you just popped up from anywhere. There's been a constant growth process that you can lay claim to. So yeah, this is where I bring to close my 7 points on how to amplify your work. And I hope that you guys really, really got something from it.
Thank you, Jamila Salami. We got a lot from your section. So before we move into the question and answer segment, I want to ask, have we gotten to the point where amplifying your work can no longer work without digital media? Because there may be people here who will feel that, okay, do I need to post? Do I need to use Facebook and all of those social media platforms? Have we gotten to that point? We can no longer wait amplifying the work we do for digital media.
Okay, so I think the first question I'm going to ask is, it's an answer for a question. The question is, do you want to keep playing local or you want to keep playing global? Right? You're in Nigeria, and the only thing that literally connects us to the world are these digital platforms. Either we like to admit it or not, right? This is a platform where through a chat, this is a platform where through a chat you can, this is a platform where through a chat you can literally connect to somebody in Brazil, in Germany, in the UK, right? So you, at this time, it's not even a question of if you should be on these digital platforms or not. It should now start being a question of which of these digital platforms should I start using? Because by now, even people who are into business, big brands, they already know that they need to be on these platforms to be able to amplify their work. Because maybe you can do that through newspapers, but the question is, how many people can you reach through your local newspaper, except it's a Forbes, right? And Forbes is not even a newspaper per se, right? So how many people can you reach? Even Forbes, you will still post on their digital platforms because there's a wider audience. There's an option to spread your wings and just, tell your story to the world.
Thank you so much for that answer. I particularly frame that question that way because I know there will be one or two persons here who say, I don't like social media, I don't like posting, I don't like this. The world has become digital. Like you can literally connect with the CEO of a top company with just a few clicks, and everything you're trying to work hard on just comes to you. So if you're here, you're trying to, if you can't run away from digital media, we are at that age now. You need to get on this platform. You need to tell your own story. You need to share the work you are doing. So while we are waiting for, okay, let me see if we have other questions. Okay, one more aspect I want you to throw more light on. For those who have been on these platforms, they've been trying to talk about your work, trying to share about their content. Sometimes people even get to jump on trends and maybe work with influencers. And to these people, their work has not blown in quotes. So what do you have for those kind of people? What word do you have for those kind of people? They've been consistent, they've been showing up year in, year out, but they seem not to have gotten there. So what do you have for that category of people?
What I would say to answer that question is that there is no really a destination per se. I don't think there's any point you get to, you say, I have gotten there, I have arrived. And I still think that it boils down to what exactly you're trying to do. So if you use the metrics of people are not seeing me, I'm not working with influencers to judge your progress, then there might be a problem. So let me give you a very good example. I have a shirt business, like I sell customized shirts, and we started in August, and we sold about 600, 500 shirts, right? And I have not used one influencer. That page is currently at 800 followers. But if a typical, young person goes to that page and then sees 800 followers, the first thing that comes to your mind is, this one does not even have followers. She's not making sales. Do you get? So what are the metrics to really measure your progress? So you need to sit back and ask yourself that question. There are people who have 1,000 followers and are making money. There are even people who are not, out there, who are not influencers that are making money. They have businesses that people patronize them. And if you go there, you might not even find, you see like 20 likes on my page, on the business page, 10 likes. And if you go there as a normal human being, as a young person, my Gen Z generation, you feel like they're not even selling anything, right? But I'm the one who is, who owns the business. And I'm the one who can tell you if I'm selling or not. So you can't make assumptions, even for yourself, that this is the reason why you're not selling. And using, getting to a point where you use influencers, getting to a point where a lot of people know you. There are brands that a lot of people know, but they're not making sales. And that is the truth. So don't use the metrics and the numbers to measure your progress. Maybe the problem is foundational. Is your product good? Right? Do you deliver on time? Do you apologize when you don't meet, promises, or when you under-deliver on your promises, right? So it's not really the question of, are people seeing me enough? If people are not seeing you, maybe you're not shining the light enough, right? And shining the light might just be having a good product that people cannot stop talking about, giving people quality. I know many people who are selling shirts, right? Who are selling, a lot of people are even selling shirts in Lagos, in Nigeria, in Abuja, and in Nigeria in full, right? But the question is, what makes me unique, right? I would do something that you would not find everywhere. So if you see my product right now, you will know that this is Temi, who made it. This belongs to Light and Curtains, right? So that is what makes me stand out. So you can't try to fix him and, be like everybody, or even copy and paste and then do products that somebody has done before and you just leave the content and just think that people are going to buy into your idea. So you have to fix the problem foundationally. So ask yourself, is my product good? Do I have a good attitude? Do I have no refund, no exchange on my bio? Is that why people are not buying? right? So you can't appear to be strict and trying to do business like every other Instagram person, and you think that people are going to patronize you, right? So it is very, very important that you ask the real questions. It's not a thing of metrics. I can tell you for one.
Thank you very, very much for that answer. Please, do we have any habits so we could? Okay, since we have no question, we will round up this section soon. Please, how do we connect? For those who want to connect with you on social media, please, what are your social media handles so they could reach out to you?
You can connect with me on Instagram, Temilade Salami. TEMILADE and Salami. Just the way my name is appearing on this Zoom code with an underscore at the back. But I'm very sure if you type this name into Instagram, I'll probably be the first person to pop up.
Thank you so much again. We got so much from this section. It was very, very impactful. Please, guys, follow her on Instagram, say thank you, connect with her. And for those of us who are yet to connect with us on Skill Factory Africa on Instagram, please connect with us. Maybe a friend invited you. Please connect with us because there's always something to learn, something to gain. Skill Factory Africa is always dishing out value. So please follow us at Skill Factory Africa. So that will be all for this section. Thank you so much again, Temilade Salami. It was so impactful. It was eye-opening. Okay, so we will be rounding up this section in few minutes. I am Dr. Gift. Thank you for the opportunity. Rebecca says thank you. Okay, thank you, David. Thank you, everyone. I hope to see you again in another section by 5 p.m. Please stay around. Make sure you follow our Telegram channel so you do not miss out on it, and it will be very, very insightful as usual. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. An hour, 30 minutes.